Let me know when you're able to get it. Okay, I think we're live now. Okay, great. So Erica, how often did you end up using Nopal this semester? Daily, every other day, once a week,
I
once every
used
two
it,
weeks?
well, because I had it for, um, let me think, I had it for 3 classes this semester, and so I was looking on Nopal probably at least 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
There was a week or 10 days there where my computer was not working, and I had to take it into the student union building, and so
Yeah.
I didn't use it as frequently. I used it on my phone as much as I could, but it's kind of a pain to log in on my phone, so I just didn't. I just told my
Mm-hmm.
students, like, look, you have a little break.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha. And so when you were using the platform, what were you most often using it for? For the gradebook, to send emails, upload and download files, post assignments, post in the bulletin?
mostly I was using it for assignments, grading, and um, and then I used the bulletin a lot to get in touch with students.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the problems I had, I couldn't use it for was like what I had talked about. I had sent a message this morning, was emailing students individually, like on the roster, if I wanted to go through and like email, like click on somebody and just email them that way, or if I wanted to email the whole class, because one class in particular, people didn't get onto, they didn't have the bulletin uh, notifying them when I was putting things
Mm-hmm.
on the bulletin, and so they were missing stuff. Um, so that was a little bit tricky because I'd have to like email them each individually instead of just sending out a mass email in the group like, hey,
Yeah,
get
and
the
we
bulletin.
actually do have the functionality to send an email to the whole class, and so we'll be able to show you that afterwards, either via intercom or just show you directly. So we do have that functionality currently that you can send a mass email to the
Oh,
class.
that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then when you, what I mean by that is when you post the bulletin, um, your bulletin post is sent to students' emails directly. So anytime you post a message to the bulletin, students don't need to log into the platform directly. They should be getting an email with the content of your post in it.
But do
So,
they have to set it up? Because maybe they're just like trying to pull a fast one on me, which I wouldn't be surprised.
uh-huh.
But they were saying, oh, well, I didn't have it set up in my notifications, and so I didn't get the bulletins.
We don't. I don't think that would be. That doesn't sound like.
That's not valid.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it's valid. Um,
Okay.
so we'll have to get. I'll have Andrew follow up with you on that via the intercom, and we'll make sure that we get a way that we can get a message out to all the students.
Okay.
Cool. And then, which features did you like most about Noble?
I like the syncing with the Google Calendar a lot, so I
Mm-hmm.
could see on my calendar like what was coming up for each of my different classes. And I really liked the Google Hangout on Air. That was really instrumental for especially for the Dance 101 class,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to like post videos and stuff. It was just very easy to use, so I like that.
Okay, great. And which features did you dislike about Noble?
Well, for the purposes of my class, it was sometimes time consuming or tedious a little bit to have to go through when students, because we do use a lot of YouTube videos as a dance class. We're really looking at dance happening
Uh-huh.
and like going through like all the different comments to get into some of the previous videos that maybe the students would have to go reference. And so that was a little bit annoying.
So if there was a way to like filter it by videos only, or a way to just to not have to go back too far in the bulletin, a way to like pull those
No,
up would be
I
easier.
think what would be helpful for my class would be to have a tab like you have an assignments and a grades if you had a video tab, so that students could go back through and like look at previous lectures or videos that up instead of having to scroll through all the comments and questions of the bulletin.
Gotcha. That's a great suggestion. That's one of the things we've thought about implementing, and it's going to be a coming feature in the future. So that's definitely a great idea. We're working on that because
Yeah.
we want to make sure that it is easier to find those videos because they're crucial for your class and for a lot of classes we work with.
Yeah, and then
Um,
the other thing that was a little bit frustrating, and this was just kind of, it's just one of those semesters where I'm trying to figure out like how best this is going to work for me. And I had a grad student who was a TA. I would like it if I could have a grad student that could grade, but not be able to delete assignments or change assignments, but just have access to grading assignments. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, so instead of so having an additional role on the platform, so right now we have administrator or student, so you'd want like full admin rights for you as a professor and then an intermediary role for a grad
Yeah.
student
Yeah,
in
because I
between.
had this grad student who ended up like deleting some assignments that got lost, and it was really, and messing around with things that was really frustrating to me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then next semester um, I have 150 students in my dance 101 class. For next semester, I have 2 sections, and so I'm probably gonna have a TA, and I don't want the TA to be able to like mess my stuff up.
Yeah. And we've
Yeah.
envisioned having future roles like that, and so we're still trying to find the sweet spot in terms of what privileges to grant a grad student, and so we'll definitely take that into consideration in terms of should they be allowed to delete assignments because that is terrible when they mess up what you spent time setting up.
Well,
So
and then they delete the student's work.
yeah, and the student needs to resubmit then. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then that becomes an issue. Well, like on D2L, they have a TA role, and the TA can only grade assignments and post on the bulletin.
Okay. That seems like that's a good halfway point there.
Yeah.
And so we'll definitely be looking at that more, and probably it shouldn't be something too difficult for us to integrate, but we'll keep you posted on progress on that issue.
Okay.
Anything else that you dislike about Nopal?
No.
Okay, great. And then are there any
I
features?
mostly really like it. I like it a lot better than D2L.
Well, we'd
It
love
would
to
be
hear that.
nice. It would be nice if the grades could go directly into the U access, though,
Directly into PeopleSoft?
into whatever.
Yeah, into UApp,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, that's something that's we're working on it with. That's just an access to the university systems issue. And so as our relationship with U of A grows, we'll be able to do that as well. So that's something we definitely have our eye on in the future.
Yeah.
And then are there any features that Nopal just doesn't have that you wish we had? So not things you dislike, but things that are just
Yeah,
missing?
no, mostly the things that I disliked were features that you didn't have that I wish you had, like the TA role and the tabs where I could have the video lectures and the actual YouTube clips. And those are things that you just don't have.
Gotcha.
But
Well, it's great. Yeah, all your feature requests are things that we've considered or are working on. So that's great that we're kind of aligned with what you want.
Yeah.
And then which LMSs have you used in the past? Just D2L or anything else besides that?
No, I've just used D2L. A long time ago, as a student, I took a class through Blackboard, and then I've taken a class through D2L.
Oh, okay.
As students, but as an instructor, my only experience is with D2L at U of A.
Gotcha. Did you have a preference from the student side, between Blackboard or D2L?
Not really. I think D2L I'm just more familiar with.
Yeah.
I only took one class, and it was a long time ago on Blackboard. And then D2L I'm just more familiar with. I've taken a few classes on that way.
Gotcha. And did you use any other tools besides the platform this semester, besides Nopal, to accomplish what you're trying to do with your course? Any third-party tools?
No.
Okay, so just the platform.
Yeah.
And then comparing your experience this semester to semesters you taught before, with Nopal, how would you say engagement changed? Was it worse, about the same, or better? We're thinking of engagement as like participation and collaboration in the classroom.
Yeah, I think that it is better, and I think the instructor has to facilitate that, and that would be actually something that I need to work on next semester. Is when I would do the online lectures, I wanted the students to comment on the lecture and then like engage with the other students. That ended up taking so much space on the bulletin that it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I need to figure out a way, maybe tell them to like comment directly under the video so it doesn't take up all that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so they can comment. The other thing we can do is create groups, and so then those assignments, group assignments, to where they can go in and create a group, and then those posts are attached to a single assignment. So.
Yeah, that was I wasn't comfortable doing that, but that would be something that I would like to do in the future.
Yeah, and we can work with you on that, making sure that we get the right solution for what you're trying to do. Yeah. And then with Nopal, again, compared to previous semesters, would you say there was any change in performance? Meaning grades? Was it worse, about the same, better?
Well, I don't. This is only my second semester at having my own class. I've always been I've been a TA before that. So
Mm-hmm.
I can say like uh, from being a TA in the Dance 100 in-person class, I feel that the students who utilize this Noble platform were more reflective and did a better job writing. And I don't know if that's just the difference between an online student who tend to be a little more self-directed than
Mm-hmm.
an in-person student. So I don't know for sure about that, but I really did feel, and I got a lot of feedback from the students that they enjoyed Notebowl more because they felt like it was more interactive.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't
That's
feel like it, and then it was really great towards the end of the semester. They started like posting things on the bulletin to talk to each other, and so I thought
mm-hmm.
that was cool.
Yeah, we think so too. It's great when they're getting involved on their own when they don't not even being forced to.
Yeah.
That's kind of our goal with the technology overall. Would you say that it changed your instruction quality at all in terms of what you're able to do or how you approached a class?
Not really. I think that I'm still trying. I need to, this was a very rough, rough, rough trial semester, and so I think next semester
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep honing in on those techniques to just get students, myself, a little more organized, and the students also. So
Gotcha.
I don't think it changed my instruction so much, except that I didn't, interact with them
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot because a lot of them didn't come in onto the Google Hangout with me. So I
Mm-hmm.
think in the future I would try to do like office hours with the Google Hangout.
Gotcha. So yeah, you have a potential there to have
Yeah,
more engagement on that level.
even more engagement. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to next semester is like getting even more involved and more engaged with the students.
That's great. We're looking forward to you really pushing the platform to its limits in that sense and getting the
Yeah.
most out of it. And then, would you say course organization changed at all? Worse, about the same, or better in terms of how your course is organized?
Oh, I think that Noble made it glaringly apparent to me that I needed to be more organized.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because then it's like, okay, this is where I need, it was really easy for me to do some like self-assessment as an instructor, how I can make it better for the students.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in an in-person class, you don't have that immediate like mirrored feedback.
Yeah, definitely. You don't get like that instant real-time feedback kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then in terms of efficiency, the time you used for the class, did that improve, stay the same, or get worse?
It's about the same.
About the same in terms
About
of
as
efficiency?
far, I mean, you're still just like you're still grading papers and lecturing.
Okay.
So, so it's not, I mean, I think that, like I said, it was as an online class. I don't know if I mean, I didn't lecture 2 days a week because it was like really condensed because I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
anybody asking questions or looking at their phone and taking up class time. So I guess in that sense that the platform is more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, and then, given your experience with Nopal, what were the most common ways that students interacted with you? Was it email, phone, text, Nopal, Facebook, Twitter, other? Like, what were the most common ways if you had to rank them that students chose to interact with you?
Mostly it was email.
Mm-hmm.
It was email, and then I started holding office hours on Fridays, and so then they would like, and that was kind of fun. They would come in and get to see them in person, and they'd come in and talk to me on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good.
And do you think, because one of the things we're interested in looking at with Noble is how it changes how students and professors use email to communicate with each other. Do you think that some students were posting things on Noble they would have otherwise emailed you, or do you think, did you see any kind of change in what your previous experience was in terms of communication?
I think that most students still emailed me just for privacy issues. They didn't want to like put their issue up on the bulletin for the whole class to see, like, oh, I was late because, or I haven't done anything all semester because family issues or whatever. So I think I'm not really sure what the question you're asking is, but I don't imagine that the emails that I got would have been appropriate for placing on a bulletin
Because they were more personal.
because they were personal, yeah.
Gotcha. And then one-on-one messaging is coming to the platform, so you'll be able to things that wouldn't be appropriate for posting the bulletin, we would just have we would give you the functionality and option instead of emailing to have a one-on-one instant message. So
Yeah,
that's
I
a few
think that
things.
would probably, I think I could see how that would be really, really helpful. And then I was really hesitant to give out my cell phone until
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the semester. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to give it to them because it's going to be easier for them to get hold of me. And then I started getting a few texts that way.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine.
Gotcha.
Nobody was
Okay.
harassing me.
It's definitely a concern,
Yeah.
especially when you have a really large class.
Yeah.
Um, how about students submitting assignments? Do they submit assignments on time more often due to notifications on the platform?
I don't know about that. I had a lot of, and I don't know if this is just like it's hard for me to really answer some of these questions because I don't have any previous experience
Yeah.
to compare it to. But
Mm-hmm.
I had a handful of students who just did nothing all semester and now are frantically trying to play catch up so that they can pass the course. And so
Yeah.
I don't know if they just ignored all of the notifications. I mean, they say they didn't get them. I don't know if that's really true.
Yeah.
But um,
That's
it's not just in this class. It's my other online dance and culture class too. They just didn't do anything all semester, and then I emailed them and said, okay, well, you're gonna fail.
uh
And now they're all like trying to play catch up, and I just don't know if that's just the nature of having an online class.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm nice and I accept late papers.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it's hard to distinguish between the two, whether it's just
yeah,
online or the
yeah.
communication. And then more on a Nopal team side of things, how was our support through the semester in
Oh,
terms of answering your
super,
questions?
super awesome. Really
Super.
great.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Is there any way you can improve in the future to make
I
your
don't know how
experience
you could.
better?
I mean, I got everything. I don't know how you could improve. I felt like because I'm not technologically savvy at all, and this was really like a challenge for me. And I felt like Andrew and Logan were like always there, like right away, helping me out. And it was, I'd never done a Google Hangout. Andrew had to do it with me like 4 times before I could figure it out.
We're happy to help, and we're really excited, especially because we want to make the platform as intuitive as possible and really get new users having a great experience. So we're excited to hear you say that.
Yeah,
Um,
it was good.
and so, how would you describe your overall experience using Nopal this semester?
Oh, I think it's great. So I think it's awesome. I'm a huge proponent. I've been trying to push it over at Pima
Mm-hmm.
also. But they're going through a hard time right now. I think they're resistant to change, but I
Mm-hmm.
have been like really. I went and talked to the president and been trying to push getting Notebowl as something that they can use over there too. Because I just think it's really great.
That's awesome. We appreciate that. So this next
And so
question feels kind of
if
redundant then.
yeah, and if I move wherever I go, I'm gonna like be like, you guys have to do Notebowl.
We love having ambassadors for the platform. That's
Yeah.
great. The next question feels redundant, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. So would you recommend Noble to other instructors and administrators?
Oh yeah, I have been too. Like just when I was renewing my contract for the 2 dance online classes in the fall, I said I wouldn't do it unless there was Notebowl.
That's so great. That's awesome to hear. So that was the last question. So I can go ahead and have Andrew stop the Google Hangout on air. And then